What happens when the tribal chief confronts his top soldier after their devastating defeat? What if the man who ended Roman's historic reign is now being blamed for their biggest loss? Roman Reigns just confronted Cody Rhodes in an explosive post-match confrontation that will leave you absolutely stunned. Subscribe right now because the blame game just reached nuclear levels. The dust has barely settled from one of the most brutal WarGames matches in Survivor Series history. Paul Heyman's Vision faction stands victorious, while Roman Reigns' team lies broken and defeated. But tonight, in the raw aftermath of their loss, the tribal chief has called for a meeting that could shatter what remains of his team's unity. The challenge facing Roman Reigns wasn't just the physical loss to the Vision, it was the psychological damage to his aura of invincibility. For the first time in his tribal chief reign, Roman had assembled a super team and still came up short. The question became, who would bear the responsibility for this historic failure? The confrontation erupted in the locker room as Roman Reigns stood over a seated Cody Rhodes. "You had Brock Lesnar pinned." Roman's voice echoed through the tense room. "All you had to do was make the cover. But you hesitated. You wanted to make it dramatic, wanted your moment." Cody rose to his feet, his eyes burning with intensity. "You want to talk about moments, Roman? You want to talk about failures? Where were you when Bronson Reed had me cornered? Where was the tribal chief when Drew McIntyre was dismantling our team one by one?" The two men stood nose to nose, the air crackling with tension as other team members watched in stunned silence. "I don't answer to you anymore, Roman," Cody declared. "The only reason you're still standing here giving orders is because I allowed you to have that title back." This confrontation reveals the fundamental power struggle that has been brewing since Cody Rhodes ended Roman's historic championship reign. While they've been forced to work together against the common threat of the Vision, the underlying tension between the man who built an empire and the man who shattered it was always simmering beneath the surface. What makes this moment so compelling is that both men have legitimate grievances. Roman's frustration with Cody's hesitation stems from his win-at-all-costs mentality, while Cody's retort about Roman's absence during key moments questions the tribal chief's leadership when it mattered most. This isn't just about one lost match, it's about competing visions for what leadership should look like in WWE. You cannot miss the fallout from this explosive confrontation. If you're not subscribed, you're missing the collapse of WWE's most powerful alliance. Hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and tell us in the comments whose side you're on in this brewing civil war. The empire is crumbling, make sure you're here to witness the fall.